So I thought I would do a what is video on existential threat. So if you've read any articles about Israel, listened to Netanyahu or other leaders, they speak about an existential threat to the nation state of Israel. And so the question is, what does that really mean? If you look at Google, for example, there's all sorts of headlines about existential threat. The U.S. left is the greatest existential threat facing Israel. Israel and diaspora divide is an existential threat. A Jewish agency chair warns of existential threat to Israeli diaspora ties. Ex-defense minister, current political climate is an existential threat. Israel's existential threats and the nation-state law. So you see all kinds of links about existential threats to Jews. Jewish newspapers claim Corbyn poses existential threat. So what does this really mean when they talk about an existential threat? And it's fairly straightforward, but I figured I would do a what is video on it anyways. And here is, let me see. So this, what is an existential threat? And the term itself, let me see. The term itself, and there was a better definition of this. Let me go back here. If you just Google it, for example, what is an existential issue? The real clear defense. That's what I was looking at. It says an existential threat is generally defined as a threat to existence. It says this is imprecise and deserves further explanation. That's what the article goes on to explain. But ultimately, let's see. An existential crisis is a moment at which an individual questions if their life has a meaning, purpose, or value. The issue of the meaning, purpose, or human existence is a major focus of philosophical tradition of existentialism, and that's not quite how Israel uses it. But when Israel uses it, what they mean is, in fact, that it's a threat to their existence, just as the term would imply, and they use it because Israel is such a small nation in terms of all the Islamic nations, all the Muslim nations surrounding it, that pretty much, well, many things cause a threat of existential, cause an existential threat. Because if you look at Israel's land size, and you look at the weapons pointed at it by Iran, for example, you recognize that you wouldn't need a lot of conventional weapons to wipe out the whole nation. It's not like Canada or the U.S. where you could drop a few conventional weapons or even a nuclear weapon on the East Coast or the West Coast, but that wouldn't wipe out the whole country. That would take out a small part, maybe a city or something. But when you talk about the small nation of Israel, the landmass, a nuclear weapon or two would absolutely wipe out the entire population and the entire country. So many things end up being existential threats to the nation of Israel, and so that's why you talk about that's why you see them talking about it a lot. And yeah, basically, very briefly, it means that there is a threat to the existence of Israel as a nation, and many things pose that danger, not the least of which is Iran, Syria, and Russia converging on its borders. So that is another What Is video, just a real quick one to talk about existential threat. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.